Just shove the
Oh,
Pokemon in your mouth.
listen. This is how scatterbrained I am today. I'm like, I'm gonna go get an iPhone cable. I went upstairs. I made a sandwich, and then I was like, I started to come back downstairs. I was like, oh fuck, iPhone cable.
I forgot you had a podcast. It's that liquor bottle that you have in the background there that is,
Oh, the Malort.
oh, it looks good. Looks
No,
good.
That's
it's
an
not.
industrial size liquor bottle.
Oh god, have you ever had Malort?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's like if they made like liquid earwax. It's disgusting. It's so gross.
Oh, that sounds wonderfully bad. That sounds like all the Pidgeys that I've been capturing. Anyways, we don't have a name for this podcast. I'm sure we'll come up with one maybe by the end of this episode, or maybe we'll just think about it over the next couple days in a drunken haze, potentially. Who knows? But thank you, whoever is watching us. I'm going to post a link right now, the YouTube link, because we are actually kind of live.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, yeah we are. Huh.
We are recording the very first Pokemon Go podcast. Watch us live. I'm like telling you exactly what I'm typing so I don't mess up.
I have to do that too. I do have a slogan for us, and that should be
What's that?
Cast them all.
Oh, I love it. I
Cast
love
them
it.
all. Mhm.
Love it. Love it. Myself, Miller, and me.
So how do you two know each other?
We met at E3.
Yeah, we literally did meet at E3. When
the
was it?
Xbox press conference
Yeah.
in particular.
Yep. You and Katie, and then there was a couple other guys there. We were all kind of chatting, and I think I was there with I don't know if it was Steven or someone. I don't know. I forget who I was there with. Yeah, we met at E3, and then Robin's been writing for SideQuesting,
Yeah.
nice.
among other places for a while now. So.
Yeah. I might be Team Valor, but I am fully Team SideQuest.
I'm surprised that wasn't on the application.
Yeah. Was it you that quote or tweeted out about the exit review?
Yeah.
Exit interview.
It's the worst because I don't have anything near my desk. I can see tons of stuff. There's like a circle, and it's just Pokestops and gyms, and they're all like low-level Pokemon too. And like every once in a while, you know, it'll show me. It'll be like, oh hey, there's probably a dope Squirtle 1 footprint away. Like, oh cool, yeah, I'm gonna go get it, but I can't.
So the three footprints mean that they're right by, right?
The 3 footprints mean they're far away.
Oh,
You have to go
okay.
a distance. If it's 1 footprint, that means it's within like a certain vicinity of you, and
Okay.
you just kind of have to wander around looking at your phone until it goes up to 2 footprints or until it actually shows up.
I see. Okay.
So are we officially started?
We have officially started. This is the very first episode of whatever we call this Pokemon Go podcast, the PokemonGO Cast, because we got to cast them all.
Because I didn't want to get into
Yeah.
the meat and potatoes, unless this is already going.
Let's just get it started. Let's introduce ourselves. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Mike Bachman.
Nice.
And I'm Dolly Demofsky. Joining me is, I will point to the lovely young lady.
I'm Mike Bachman.
Hey, gorgeous.
You have to finish introducing yourself
Oh
now,
shit!
Mike.
Do I? I thought I was gonna double dip. I thought I was gonna get a real one. No, I'm Mike Bachman. Twitter handle @CoolRats.
You still use I still love that you reference my old non-used Twitter handle, even though my Pokemon handle is CoolRats. And also joined by the always wonderful Robin Miller.
Hi, I'm Robin Miller. I'm on Twitter @ARobinMiller with a Y. Oh, that's Robin with a Y,
You're
I should
also
say.
Mike Bachman.
Yeah, I dropped the ball there, but I was a little sad that you didn't compliment my awesome beard.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, your beard is terrific. Gotta say, your beard is nice and white today with the earphone plugs.
Yes.
You don't have a bottle of liquor behind you like Mike does, though, unfortunately.
No, I don't.
It's about to
I
be in
just-
front of me.
At the way this podcast is already going. Well, we are all gathered here today to begin a wonderful journey talking about Pokemon Go and maybe other Pokemon stuff as the need arises. I figured I would get 2 of my favorite Pokemon fanatics, Robin, who has been slowly indoctrinating me into Pokemon, and Mike, because he has an attractive face.
I have at least 2 Pidgeys, so I know quite a bit.
But I knew Mike's been posting some good stuff about Pokemon Go, so I figured let's invite him. He's a decent dude. Might as well have him on there.
And the highest level of all of us right now.
Yeah. What level are you at, Mike?
I'm sorry. I think there's a Pokemon here right now.
I hear it.
I'm about to tie it to the railroad tracks.
I hear it in the background. Yeah.
Let me shut this door.
It's not a Rattata. It's an Eevee in the background there.
You feed it one day, and then all of a sudden expects you to do it regularly.
Imagine if Pokemon Go, you were supposed to take care of your Pokemon like you do in the handheld game.
Yuck. No thanks.
Delete.
Once you catch them all, that's way too many litter boxes to clean.
Speaking of catching them all, did you see what Planned Parenthood tweeted out today?
No.
It was a picture. Great. It was It was a picture of a condom in the Pokemon style.
Yep.
And said, if you're gonna catch them all, use protection. Oh, God. It's one thing after another with these people. All these people. Humanity in general. Well, as I said, we're here because Pokemon Go has taken over the universe. It definitely seems like it. And we wanted to kind of share some fun chatter about it and good old-fashioned podcasting. So we're going to do these short-ish or whatever, good amount of time podcasts, good time shows as often as we can. We're going to kind of do a soft launch over this first week or so, first couple weeks, try to get a few episodes out in front of people. And if you have questions, you can tweet at us. I'm sure we'll set up a Twitter handle for the show, and you can tweet us individually. We'll get to our handles afterwards. But I want to hear, let's talk about our kind of initial impressions of Pokemon Go and how addicted we are and what level we're at, and kind of start the series with that. Robin, tell me a little bit about your Pokemon Go experience.
It's been wonderful. The first day, I knew how in trouble I was because the servers were perpetually down, and I was perpetually with my phone in hand waiting for them to come back up again and unable to work in the meantime. But the main thing that stood out to me is not necessarily the servers being down and all of those famous issues the game has been having so far that are gradually getting patched, but the way it's brought me together with both strangers and also my family.
Really?
I visited home shortly after its release, and my dad said that he was downloading the app so my nephew, my 4-year-old nephew, could play Pokemon and start to get into the series. And then that quickly turned into my dad and I going out to a gym at 11 p.m. at night in our pajamas so that I could take the gym over and teach him how to use Pokestops and teach him how to use various items. And now he's sending me guides, the complete list of Pokemon. He's sent me updates on like what I can expect from the game and things like that. So we've been.
Dad, I'm doing this for you, not for me. It's for you.
Yeah. So it's been great because I've had good time with family. I've seen so many people out while playing it that just people I wouldn't usually encounter, mostly undergraduate students, in which case I just kind of play it cool. But a lot of people have just been out in public places, like adults, younger children, all sorts of people are coming together to play this game.
Yeah, it's pretty much everyone. That's the most ridiculous part is that we went down to the waterfront last night and there wasn't really anything open because it was a Tuesday night and it was just packed in a town that just it doesn't really get packed for anything that's not a festival of some sort. So it's good.
That's my experience as well, and I've really enjoyed seeing the pictures people are posting, just like random photos of folks saying, hey, went to the docks or went to wherever today, and there are dozens of people outside. They're all hanging out playing Pokemon together. And it's just like complete strangers because they know it's a Pokestop. And it's been awesome to see it. Rob and I were talking about this, but I'm glad that with everything that's happening in the world, we're not going to bring up all kind of the bad things and so on, but it's great that there's just one kind of cultural phenomenon happening right now. And I guess you can say that it did kind of come at the perfect time where people are able to just enjoy it and connect in weird ways and not have any, like, up until last week, up until last Thursday, you were a complete geek and a nerd if you even mentioned the word Pokemon anywhere you went. But now, if you mention Pokemon, everyone's like, oh, you could be talking to an 80-year-old person, and they'll say, oh, which ones did you catch? I just caught this. So it's completely flipped kind of the I guess they're called predispositions or whatever, prejudices against the idea of nerding out on something, and it's been very cool, and everyone's been super polite that's been playing it and really enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it'll last. I mean, I'm going to give it a couple more weeks here before. I mean, we've already seen backlash from, traffic folks putting up signs that saying "Don't Pokemon and drive" and things like that. But if it has a couple more weeks in it, I think that's fantastic. Last through the summer.
Longer than that, because I think there's a lot of things that are planned for it. Yeah. I mean, like Ingress, for better or worse, is still going. Ingress being the other game from Niantic, which is a similar concept, but just no Pokemon. But that's kind of the point. It doesn't have that Pokemon brand attached to it, which this does. There's definitely going to be, we're going to get a couple weeks from now, all the filthy casuals are going to drop off. But like, I think this thing's going to have legs for quite a while.
What's kind of cool is that you look at what we know of Pokemon in the kind of the gaming and the geek side of things, which is there's trading involved. I mean, could you imagine the trading that's going to take place? You have I kind of see like the next 3 or 4 big things. You're going to have trading, huge, get the kind of player interaction that way. You're going to have PvP battles, which are going to eventually make their way out, and I think that's going to be really huge because then you're going to want to go to places to battle against random people, and then you're going to have the whole further generations of Pokemon, which are going to keep this thing going. And I think the fourth one, and Niantic kind of spoke about it yesterday, I think, a little bit to the Financial Times, I think, or someone. But they brought up the idea of sponsored locations, right? So you can go to a Starbucks. Every Starbucks could potentially have a PokemonGO stop be active as a lure from 6 to 8 on Thursday, whatever. And I think that could be very huge at getting people to come together as well.
That's already going on. I mean, there's libraries that are dropping lures to get people to come read a book, and.
I dropped one during office hours to get my students to come and see me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We're actually doing it on Sunday at our church to get a lot of the young kids to show up. So we've actually got a couple of events over the next couple of weeks here of PokemonGO meetups. So, I think it's really cool. Yeah, these things are starting, and I think it could potentially go. If it lasts through the summer, I'd be super happy. Just because it's going to constantly give me something to do when I go outside. And from my personal experience, my daughter, as much as I was into it, I saw the same thing that you were saying, Robin. It was the servers are slammed. I actually tried logging in like an idiot. I tried logging in with my Pokemon Trainer account, which wasn't working for like the first 2 days, so I kind of gave up. I was just about to quit PokemonGO, and I thought I'm never going to get into this thing. Why bother? And it wasn't until I think Friday, when I got home from work Friday afternoon, that I said, well, let me just try the Google account and see what happens. I logged in with my Google account, and it worked, and I've been hooked ever since then, because as I went jogging Friday night, I ran into like 3 other groups of people that were playing PokemonGO at 11 o'clock at night on Friday in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it's been that way every night since then.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I think it's super cool. So I'm level 7. I'm just about to hit level 8. Team Instinct for life. And my main right now is was it Valpion that I'm running with. I think that's let me get here my CP.
Vaporeon.
Vaporeon. And I'm still kind of low on that one. I've got to catch a few more EVs and get some more EV candies to evolve it. But it's a kind of a very simple mechanic to catch them and to evolve and go from there. Rob, I didn't ask, what level were you at?
I'm 13, and my main is a Pidgeot with just over 600 CP.
Oh, so. Nice. Yeah, I'm at about 490 with my Vaporeon. Yeah. All right.
Team Valor.
Team Valor. There you go. Mike, what are you at right now? Tell me your story and your level and your main.
I am level 19. I got there by farming Pidgeys mostly, but I got my main is a 1158 Vaporeon named We Get It You Vape. I've got a 987 Snorlax called Your Mom LOL.
Great.
And then a 923 Jolteon and an 8888 Flareon that I have not named yet.
All right. What's kind of interesting is I knew nothing about the original Pokemon and evolving them, but I've learned so much in like the last 4 days, more than I've learned in the 20 years that Pokemon's been around. And I've been following it. I've learned in the last like 4 or 5 days, so which is pretty crazy. I'm probably my daughter is on the same level as I am, Pokemon knowledge-wise, and she's only known about it for a few days now. So.
Well, that's the thing that like I've always gotten into Pokemon a little bit, and then trailed off because fighting's hard. Like there's tons of moves, and there's like, well, this
Pokemon never changes.
These Pokemon can only learn these moves, but unless they're evolved from an egg and they hatch from an egg with that move, or like, and there's tons of rules, and more power to you if you can like get into that and like retain all of it. I feel like you had to start early, which I didn't. But I can tell you everything about Disney's Aladdin on Super Nintendo.
Yes, that was the better version.
But what always drew me back to it was the collection aspect.
Yeah.
Aside from the fighting, and that's kind of why I've latched on to Pokemon Go so hard, is that the combat is really bare bones. It's really just about either your combat power, which is just a number, or type advantage if you have a similar combat power.
Sure.
And that's enough.
And your ability to tap.
And your ability to tap. Which actually, your ability to tap is part of what was screwing people over quite a bit early on with gyms. Yeah. Tapping too fast, and then that was actually causing the 1 HP bug that everybody is complaining about.
I didn't even know about that bug.
Everything.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know to tap for the first like few gyms that I went to, and I get sloppy.
You're just waiting. I'm sure he'll do something one of these days.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. Screw this game. And then I figured out, you're supposed to tap. Well, that explains it.
Yeah, they have some great tutorial content in this game. And by great, I mean non-existent.
Non-existent, yeah.
I'm probably in the minority, but I kind of like that. Like, I realize it's bad, but on the other hand, I like the sense of discovery that there is around this game. Like, if you go and watch YouTube videos, like from the first couple of days when the game came out, of just different content creators going out and trying to play the game, there's so much misinformation. It's awesome. They're like, oh yeah, if you throw the Pokeball and you miss, you can tap it and get it back. I tried that. I was like, no, you absolutely cannot do that.
It doesn't work.
But it was just stuff like that, just people trying to like.
We should totally start like a fake tip.
Yes.
For Pokemon.
Yeah. The grass means there's definitely something there.
Yeah, exactly. The grass ruffling up means there's definitely something there, and if you keep tapping the grass, then a rare Pokemon will come up.
That's the only place that Pokemon come up to, the grass.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. We should do like a fake rumor of the week.
Well, and like that's the thing, is that a lot of those things have been debunked, or so they say. I don't even know if I should trust the debunking because there's no hard information. So like originally, like the tray in the corner of the screen that shows the Pokemon and the number of footprints for how far away they are, that what people were saying is you walk in a direction, and if that pulses, then you're going the right direction, and if it doesn't pulse, then you go somewhere else. Now people are saying, no, you open up that screen so you can see the full list of nearby Pokemon, and they're in order of how far away they are from you, which that is true.
Makes sense, yeah.
Like, you can confirm that based on the number of feet. They're always in the right order. You'll never see one out of order there. So that makes sense. But then they're saying, well, you just the only time that tray pulses is when there's a change in the list, not when you're actually going in the right direction. So it could pulse when you're going in the opposite direction as well. So people are saying, open that list, and when they reorder themselves, then you know, like, if it's getting further away or closer to you. Which, to be fair, like, that method should work.
Yeah.
If they're always in the correct order according to distance, then that method should work fine, and then you don't have to worry about the pulsing tray or anything like that. But nobody knows for sure. So maybe everything I said is just now is bullshit.
Well, I've learned that from you, though.
Yeah, well, that's true. You'll learn that early on that it's not just Pokemon; it's really everything.
It's everything. Yeah, exactly. I'm staring at I have Pokemon Go open right here, just in case something pops up, and my phone is sitting on my table, and my guy keeps like slowly turning. He's like looking one way and I look the other way. Like the GPS signal is kind of messed up, so he's apparently walking by himself. Did you guys hear about that guy who put his phone on a drone? Has been flying it around. It's a brilliant idea. Second, man, way to break the game already.
One of my coworkers, his father-in-law has a model train that runs around the border of his backyard, and so he just sits it on this train, and the train goes around the track. And that's how he's been hatching all his eggs.
I want to tape like my iPhone to like the back of a dog and have them run around the backyard.
I've seen people do that. They'll put their phone in a sandwich bag and then strap that to the dog's collar and send it out into the backyard. I think I saw someone doing that on Reddit.
Do you remember those little Pokewalker things they had for, I forget, like Pokemon Pearl and Diamond, one of those Pokemon games?
Yeah.
Well, I knew people that were taping them to the inside of their wheels in their cars, and they would get like a bajillion steps added to their Pokewalkers on their way. And I've seen Fitbits. People do that with Fitbits for some reason. I don't know why you do the Fitbit, but I guess they did it.
Well, they're probably in challenges with their friends or something like that.
Yeah. But it's pretty. So what has been kind of the craziest thing that's happened to you, or the most interesting thing that's happened to you with Pokemon Go?
I trolled some mystics pretty hardcore.
Did you?
Yes, there's a group of mystics, and they're nice people, but it's friendly rivalry going on. But they camp out at one of the gyms in the downtown shopping area that I frequent. So the second day this game was out, I went there, and I decided, no, in areas where it's reasonable, where it won't have any sort of environmental effect or won't be on some private property or a important historical marker, I decided to start leaving red cranes behind in the real world. So it's like an actual mark of, someone from Valor's been here. So I took the gym from Team Mystic, and I left my crane, and I went back into my car to just send pictures of my new gym to my friends, because it was the second day that the game was out, and I was super excited. And as I was doing this, I look up, and I see a car pull in, and 4 different people come out. These are the mystics that I've come to know so well. And they stand around for a while. They find my crane, and one of them actually shakes his fist at the sky as he's holding my crane in his hand. And I don't know what happened to it. I guess they took it with them for luck. I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
So they take the gym back, and without realizing that I'm sitting in my car like some creeper watching this whole thing. So as soon as they leave, I take the gym for myself once again. And we've been having this ongoing tug-of-war. They know what I look like now at this point, but at first there was this wonderful glamour of them just knowing who I was based on this calling card I've left behind.
I'm gonna have to start doing that. That's actually pretty cool.
Really good. Yeah, I need a calling card, and I need enough of them that I can leave them places.
Start leaving them in places. Mike, what is one of the weirdest things, or craziest things, or interesting things that's happened to you?
Well, the first day, the first night actually, I decided I was going to go out regardless of how late it was, and I kind of just creeped around different neighborhoods. There's a community college here. This was this is before I really realized how the game works. So I didn't know if a Pokemon pops up on your screen, you can tap it no matter where it is. If it's not in your circle, as long as it's on the screen, you can tap it. But I saw an Eevee, and I thought it had to be in the circle, so I'm sprinting across the parking lot because I thought I was never gonna see one again, right?
Yeah, they're so rare.
Oh, right. But the first night, after that, I got in my car and I was driving around, got pulled over twice by cops trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Because I would pull up to places and I would shut my lights off and I'd be catching Zubats. And
what are you doing, sir? I'm trying to catch this Zubat, officer.
I think the worst part about it was the disappointed sigh when I told him what I was actually doing. He's like,
what not to say to a police officer.
Yes. He's like, what's going on here? And I was just just catching a Zubat, and he's like,
dropping a lure for some kids.
He's like, have a good night. I stole a gym from somebody who had been sitting there for 30 minutes whittling this gym down, just fighting it over and over again. And I walked up and I was like, oh, an empty gym, and I dropped my Snorlax in there. And he's like, dude, you just dropped that Snorlax in there. I was like, yeah, that cool? He's like, I've been here for 30 minutes.
They're making a killing because everybody's doing that, and they have to buy the revive and the potions and stuff, and bring their characters back to life and keep whittling it down. I think for me it was Monday, because I'd been playing it all weekend, and Monday I'm like, okay, now I finally reached gym level, and I've got the the Vaporeon going here, and I thought, okay, I'm in kind of good shape right now. And my vape was still in like high 300s, so it wasn't super powerful, but I thought I'm gonna start looking for gyms. So I'm at lunch at the office, I do my lunchtime walk, and I'm turning them into Pokewalks, and I noticed that, hey, the church, my office building is kind of near this giant church. The church is a gym. Brilliant. It's a church. I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody is going to have this gym. So I run over my car, drive over to the church, and it's in the entryway, like by the main sign is where the gym is. So I pull in, I kind of do a U-turn, and I kind of creep up behind. So my car is parked behind the sign, and I look totally shady. It's midday, but I'm in the middle of a parking lot. Like, it's totally shady. And I take my phone out, and like I'm holding my phone up, and I start like trying to get to this, going with the gym. By the way, this is my first time trying the gym, so I didn't know I needed to tap. So my character got my poor vape got murdered. I did know to switch out Pokemon, and I saw them all die one by one. But I'm getting really frustrated, and I'm thinking, all right, well, at least nobody is here. They're gonna think I'm a creep, but whatever. And I put my phone down as I've been staring at it for a good solid 10 minutes. I look over, and I see this dude looking at me, holding his phone up, and he's been trying the same thing, trying to knock out this gym, and he must have walked over from another one of the technical centers in the area. And so I'm staring at him, and he puts his phone down, and he sees me. We both kind of look at each other because we both have realized exactly what we're doing, which is we're skipping out on work so we can go at gym to the local church to fucking play Pokemon. And we just kind of look at each other, and we both, no audible return or exchange of words. We just kind of give each other the nod, which is like, we go our separate ways. And it was just one of those stupid things. I'm like, all right, A, I'm not the only one. B, this is totally weird because I am the only one in my office, but I'm now doing some weird, shady things in front of churches, but it's worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. But I've had some really cool experiences. I've gone. My daughter loves to take Pokewalks. She's gotten really. I put this article together yesterday of my experience from my daughter's standpoint. It's her first time really getting into Pokemon, and she's loving it. And over the last week, we've gone on walks. Well, my daughter doesn't like to go outside unless she's doing something, so just going for a walk doesn't do anything for her. She gets bored real quick. But with Pokemon Go, we've gone on like 3-mile walks without her even realizing that she's walked that much. And we have to pull her back into the house, say, hey, Ellie, it's nighttime. We got to get in the house. I just got a couple more Pokemon to catch, Dad. To me, that's awesome because we're able to go outside with her and get her to be active. It's just walking. It's light walking, but it's a lot more than she was doing before. And it's been really cool, and I've heard stories and seen a lot of people doing it in my neighborhood and in parks, and it's been awesome. It's not gonna, again, who knows how long it'll last, but it's certainly doing a lot of good right now. It's been fun, been good. So yeah, we know there's some more things coming to Pokemon over the next few weeks here. We got some updates to the app. Actually, this is the second update already. They fixed one of the things today, I guess. There was an update yesterday.
Oh, there's one today?
And there's another one today. We're actually 1.0.2. I think it was the login issue for the trainer.
Oh, that doesn't affect me.
Nah, it doesn't matter. But we can kind of put the kibosh on it for now, and then record another episode here shortly. So for all our listeners, and we've got some viewers actually. Hello. help us think of a name for this podcast. Otherwise, we're going to come up with something really silly. And if you do, maybe we'll try to figure out some way to thank you. But tweet at us individually for now. We'll give you our Twitter accounts in a second here. We'll record a bunch of these over the next few weeks. If you have any questions or comments, if you love Pokemon or hate Pokemon or are interested in Pokemon Go or have some cool stories, please let us know. It's awesome. We'll get this podcast up in iTunes and stuff. We'll have it kind of streaming for the first few days until we get a link set up. But tweet at us individually your thoughts and your comments. You can find me at Dolly Domofsky. Where can we find you, Robin?
You can find me at Robin Miller on Twitter, and that's Robin with a Y again. And can I pitch something really quick?
Yeah, totally. Oh, yes, definitely. Please tell us about this because you were tweeting about this earlier.
Yes, so I've discovered, thanks to a friend of mine, a really good way of turning your Pokemon Go adventures into charitable contributions. There's an app, and I'm not paid by them or anything to say any of this, just as a disclaimer. There's an app called Rescue Walk, and that's RES, the letter Q, and then walk. And it counts your steps and then donates money based on how far you've gone to a animal charity of your choice. So I'm using Pokemon Go to raise funds for Wildlife Resources and Education Network, aka WREN. And they're a nonprofit organization that provides transportation services for injured wildlife and resources for wildlife rehabbers. They're run by a near and dear friend of mine, or two near and dear friends of mine that I've worked with in my experience with rehabilitating raptors. So it's a really great way of making Pokemon Go an even more positive and uplifting experience to see how far you've gone and then see this money going to charities you care about.
That's awesome. I'm downloading it right now, and I know my daughter is going to be super excited to go on these walks with you now because she's actually going to be helping people. And it's, again, another cool thing that's come up from Pokemon. So thanks for giving that a plug. I'm going to try to get everybody on it because it sounds really cool and it's helpful, and we're already walking, so might as well make it even more positive. Great tip. Great stuff. Mike, where can we find you?
You can find me on the toilet catching Pidgeys.
That's what you call it?
You can find me on Twitter at the Mike Bachman, BACHMANN. Also, you can find me on the Drunks and Dragons podcast, where I play Dungeons and Dragons. It's a for-profit organization, which I am very proud of. No, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
Very cool. And Robin, do you want to pitch your or plug your other podcast that you're on right now?
Oh, sure. A couple of friends and I just started a book club for geek culture podcast called Flavor of the Geek. So you can find us on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, essentially any platform you do your regular listening on. So if you want to check us out, please feel free to.
Definitely do that. And we'll see you all on the next episode, whatever that is, of whatever we call this podcast. I'm sure it'll be soon. Until then, Robin, do you want to take us out with the tagline that you've come up with?
Until then, you gotta cast them all.
Love it. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye, Mike.
Bye.
I'm just going to end every episode with bye, Mike.